Hi lovelies, you're welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Bola. Thank you so much for joining. I'm the host on this channel, the Immigrant Nurse. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back again. On this channel, we discuss everything about migration, living in the abroad, because I am a nurse and I live in the UK. So yeah, and everything in between. Okay, so today I'll be discussing about agency nursing, aka travel nursing, what you should know, why agency nursing, factors to consider, how you can manage your 20 hours working restriction with agency nursing. Everything will be discussed in this video, so stay tuned, don't go anywhere. If you are living in UK and you are a nurse, you already know that your basic salary or your main salary is not enough. If you actually want to live the good life, in quotes, okay, your main salary is not enough. You need extra money to make things happen. So most people try to enroll with agency to actually achieve that. To become an agency nurse, what do you need to do? What you need to do is just to find that there are several agencies that are running that business here in UK. So what you need to do is you need to find out from people around, especially your colleagues who have been into it. They have experience, they know who pays better, they know who treats you better. Okay, you have to find out from them about agencies around. Then you enroll with this agency and they give you some forms to fill. Once you're able to fill the form, some agency may go the extra length to actually train you, which is mostly a paid training. Okay, because the truth is, the hospitals you will be working for, because it is not your primary hospital, their system of doing things may be different. They may have different way of operating their medication, of serving their medication, of doing things, of carrying out procedure. So for example, my own trust, we use like a platform called EPMA to actually give medicines and do medications. For the trust you might be working for under the agency, it could be a different application entirely they use for their medication. So some agency, we have to train you on what is applicable around the trust or around the hospital you will be working for, if you get what I mean. So yeah, that may be required. Those are the things that you have to take note of. Let's talk about the factors you have to consider before you enroll to be an agency nurse. The things you have to put at the back of your mind that you have to take note of. The first thing is this: you don't get to have as much protection as an agency nurse like your hospital will give to you. What do I mean by this? As an agency nurse, you have to be very, very sure that you know what you are doing. That is why it is advisable that before you join agency, you should have spent like 6 months practicing nursing in UK to be able to familiarize yourself with how things are being done, how things actually work. And also personally, I'm going to say that before you actually enroll to become an agency nurse, it's better that you have done bank in your own hospital, in your primary place of assignment. Why did I say this? This is because doing bank in your primary place of assignment will expose you to other areas. Because as an agency nurse, the fact that you're a respiratory nurse in your own hospital does not mean that you will be a respiratory nurse wherever you go. You are a nurse, you're expected to know so much. Okay, so you might be posted to an orthopedic ward wherever you go, or you might be posted to acute medical units for your agency job. It depends on if your agency is flexible enough to give you the chance or the ability to choose. But if you're not given the ability to choose, you might end up going to your post of work as an agency nurse to find yourself being posted to acute medical units. Sometimes you even come in as an agency nurse and the primary place of assignment where you've been posted to, they might not need you anymore and they just need you to go work in another ward to cover up for the staff shortage. That's what you signed up for anyways. Okay, it is to cover up for staff shortages. So you are posted to another ward to actually do that. So you must be very, very prepared. So doing bank in your hospital would have exposed you, because you would have been able to pick up bank shifts in several places, in other wards that is not your primary ward. So that would have given you an idea. It would have exposed you to the kind of medications they use, to their routine, to how procedures are being done. So you must put that into consideration when you are actually enrolling to become an agency nurse. So give yourself a pre-knowledge or a pre-exposure okay, so that you don't just go out to be an agency nurse and then you start looking stupid where you are posted to. It doesn't look good on you at all. It's good to chase money, but you have to chase it with wisdom. So you can't afford to make any mistake that will be deadly to you and your career. Okay, put that into consideration. You want to check the review of the agency you are actually picking or you have chosen to work with. So there are a lot of agencies, a lot of them. Okay, some agencies are very good that they will, give you some cover up to some extent. So you have to check the reviews and see how well these agencies treat their staff. So because the truth is, whichever hospital you have worked with for the agency, they will actually write to the agency or give feedback to the agency so that the feedback will be given to you, or it will help the agency to know what to do better. Okay, you can also ask personal review from, if your colleagues have worked with them, ask about personal reviews. Oh, what's it like working with this agency? Those will help you make your decision. Another important factor you need to put in mind is, before you start agency work, make sure that you have completed your competencies in your primary place of assignment. So what does that mean? If you're a newly qualified nurse and you had just passed OSCE in UK as a nurse, there are some competencies they expect you to sign, okay, to finalize on. These are just basic skills that you get to learn the way it is nursing is being practiced. So basic skills that require you to learn how nursing is being practiced in the UK. That's what the competency is about. So once you're able to work on the basic competencies like IV skills, the medication skills, care of deteriorating patients, and some other ones depending on what applies in your trust, it is important that you actually get yourself signed off on those competencies before you go out there to get an agency job or to practice as an agency nurse. It's just a safer way to practice, if you get what I mean. Another factor you need to put into consideration when starting out as an agency nurse is, it is better you start out as a night agency nurse. So you start out by picking night shifts. Why did I say that? The truth is, in the hospital, on the ward, if you are working during the day, the workload is always a lot, because one, you have to deal with patients, you have to deal with other medical professionals, you have to deal with patient relatives over the phone, and you as an agency nurse going to a place for the first time, you don't have so much information. It's not like you've been nursing that patient for a long time, so you don't have so much information, although you can read up on the notes, but it's still not enough compared to someone who has been with the patient for days, weeks, and they have information to give about the patient. So that you don't look stupid or you don't embarrass yourself, it's better you start out with a night shift, because during the night shift the world is calmer. You can actually familiarize yourself better with the hospital environment, and if you're starting out, the truth is you don't get to have access to the hospital system early enough. It will make sense for you to embarrass yourself during early shifts or during day shifts to start explaining to everybody that, oh, you don't have access, access, and you can't get things done. But during the night shift is a little more relaxing, because even if you don't have access, there will be staff of the hospital around to actually cover up for those areas that needs to be covered for, if you get what I mean. Do not be too proud to carry out procedures you're not familiar with. So if you are going into an hospital or a care home for the first time and you don't have an idea of how things are being done, please ask questions from those who are staff of that hospital. Find out about what is necessary to be done. If you are not familiar, if you have no knowledge about it, please do not carry it out. And whatever you do, make sure you document the reason why you are not doing what you're supposed to do. Okay, let's say you're working in a care home and you're the only nurse on duty, and you have like healthcare assistants around you, and you're not so sure about what they are saying, or you are not so sure about what you're supposed to do as a nurse in that facility. You can always reach out to the manager by sending a mail or placing a call across to find out what is applicable in that facility, in that care home, before you go ahead to do what you're not supposed to do. So be very careful. That's why if you're starting out, I would say that you should start out with NHS. The reason is because in NHS, you cannot really be so stuck. No matter how bad it is, you will always have one nurse on ground who is a staff of that hospital. So that person will be able to put you through and give you information about what you need to know as an agency nurse. So if you're starting out with a care home, on the other hand, it may be quite tricky, because you don't want a patient to die in your shift. It's like the drama is not pleasant. Okay, it can be quite tricky because you don't have so much information, you don't know too much, and things can just go wrong. What if you're trying to reach the manager and the manager did not pick up, or if you're trying to send a mail and the mail is not quickly responding to? You get what I mean? So yeah, you have to put all of those into consideration before starting out. Before starting out as an agency nurse, please make sure you are registered with a union, whether RCN, whether Unison. Make sure you are registered with a union, just in case anything happens. You will have a good covering, a professional covering to help you sort out whatever mess might arise. Then another factor you need to consider, which is very important, is this: make sure that you are planning your agency shift properly. So let's say that you have a full-time job that you do as a staff nurse. Of course, it doesn't make any sense that after you've worked in your own hospital for 3 days, then you go ahead to pick an agency shift the 4th day. The truth is, the body is not firewood. You need to rest. So space your agency shift. Give a space between your full-time shift and your agency shift. So let's say that you've done 2 days, take a day to rest. If you're off the following day, you can go for agency, take another day to rest before you go for your full-time shift. Just make sure that you are getting enough rest as much as possible in between your full-time shift and your agency shift, especially when your roster is kind of clumsy in your place of full-time work. You want to, give it good space, if you understand what I mean. Then finally, what I'm going to say is, make sure you document everything. See, there's no flimsy thing to document. For me, when I'm documenting, I even document when I serve tea to my patient. So my patient was served a cup of tea. My patient, everything you do during your shift, make sure you document. Patient open bowel, document it. Document everything. It is very important, because this will give you a legal covering in case anything comes up. Okay, as much as you are trying to report verbally, make sure you document everything as well. It is important. Now to the last bit, which is, how can you manage your agency shifts with the 20 hours work restriction? You guys, I'm sorry, my baby is in the background, just bear with me. Now, how can you manage 20 hours work restriction with agency shift? This is what I'm going to advise. This is just a counsel. You don't have to follow it. It's just a counsel. You don't have to follow it, but this is how I will personally do my own calculation, which is something that you may want to consider. So let's say that you are working 37.5 hours shift in your full-time place of work. If you are picking an agency shift, to make up for the 20 hours, the best you can do is to pick one agency shift per week. Okay, so you can pick a night shift per week, which will be from 7 to 7 or whatever time it is, depending on the place of duty. You can pick an agency shift, make probably a night duty, a night agency shift, 1 per week. So if you have done like that, that would mean that you have done like 12 hours for your agency for that week. For the remaining 8 hours, you can then go ahead to pick an early shift on any of the days that it is convenient for you during that week. So that early shift most times is 6 hours. It lasts for 6 hours. So you have actually stayed within the restriction of the 20 hours that is allocated to you. Okay. It is very difficult for you to say that you want to do the full 20 hours. It's better to be safe than to be sorry. So if you still do 18 hours, it's still okay. It's not good to be greedy now. It's still okay if you still stay within 18 hours. So you pick one night shift, then you pick one early shift during the course of the week to match up with the 20 hours work restriction. So, and if you are not, physically strong for that, you can just do one night shift for the week. So one night shift per week for 4 times, you still get, let me say, roughly £1,200 extra, depending on the rate. So let's say that your rate is like £40 per hour, and you're able to pick one night shift per week, and you're able to do 4 night shifts in a month. You will still be able to get roughly £1,200 extra, okay, in the month, which is fair enough, which is not bad at all. All right, so that's the way to go about it. Let me know if this video has been helpful for you in the comment section. If it has, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like. If you have further questions, drop it in the comment section so that I can, address it in the subsequent videos that will be coming up. All right. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this as much as I have enjoyed filming it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in my next video. Till then, stay safe and stay blessed. Bye.